Hi, my name is David Burke. I'm the CEO of Tacenda, the growth engine. I'm going to take you through a very brief interactive demo, but before that, I'm going to position the platform with a couple of slides just to help you understand what we're trying to achieve and how we can help your business. First of all, why the need for Tacenda? Myself and the other members of the management team, the leadership team, have maybe 50 years of experience between us in designing, delivering, and optimizing the growth engines for some of the fastest growing companies that have existed. I suppose two of the main ones would be VMware and Salesforce. And while being there, we noted that the companies that successfully stay above 40% CAGR all the way through the various series of investment as they get bigger and bigger behave in a distinctly different fashion than those who don't. We were frustrated because there were no platforms out there that allowed us to replicate this behavior into other businesses. Hence why we designed Tacenda. It's based on the Kanban just-in-time revenue operations principles. It's supposed to be just-in-time manufacturing, but we have taken that methodology and applied it to revenue. We look at the business as a series of conveyor belts, i.e. campaigns that start in marketing and work their way through different departments. And we monitor those, the performance indicators for each one of those campaigns and alert to any issues very, very quickly. The idea here is to allow your business to concentrate on insights and actions rather than analysis and collection, etc., etc. Most of the competing, I'd say all of the competing platforms out there, very much focus in the analysis area, and that is interesting, but it doesn't really help if you're trying to keep a system optimized. What does help is having relevant insights as to the key levers and key actions and recovery plans that you need to get in place straight away, and allow your teams to focus on rapid and precise intervention rather than spending their time trying to work out what the problems are in the first place. So this is the anchor slide for the interactive demo. It focuses on the four main USPs of our platform. We'll start off with the first, which is moving from 2020 hindsight to real-time analytics. So the traditional mode of operations for modern companies is to have QBRs and MBRs where you look back on the previous performance of the business, spend a considerable amount of time and, let's face it, some guesswork, trying to work out what went wrong and what went right and what your plan should be for the next quarter, which you've already started. We don't believe this is the optimum way to run a business. So we've designed a platform that monitors all of the relevant KPIs across the business, prorated, in real-time analysis, and alerts you to any deviation from the plan, so that you're able to see what is happening instantly and take the right plan of action. So you can see how this is laid out in the platform itself, looking at various targets, whether they be company or departmental. Everything is prorated and forecasted so that you can see how the business topology is behaving at any particular point and immediately get alerted to any deviation from the expected path. You can see this across various departments with all of their relevant KPIs laid out. This brings us back to our anchor slide, where the next USP is the move from passive reporting to real-time alerts. Most of the competition that's out there at the moment is very advanced in reporting, but that doesn't take the problem identification effort away from management, which is what we are seeking to do. The Tacenda system will monitor 130 KPIs across the business And depending on how many staff and geographies and product lines and so on you have out there, you can have well over 3 or 4 million combinations of those KPIs that need to be looked at with a fine tooth comb in order to understand how your business is behaving. Tacenda takes all of that reporting heavy lifting away from you and alerts you to problems as they happen on the fly. Back to the system again, you can see the screen that you're familiar with. All of these KPIs are, rolling out as the quarter progresses, and the system is monitoring everything. And then as soon as you get a deviation, whether it be calls or emails or opportunities created or bookings or anything that starts to deviate from the expected path, the system will immediately spot that and alert you to it and then suggest actions. The target setting for this is incredibly simple, where you just add in various KPIs that you think are relevant to your business, set a time period, and off you go. Easy. Back to the homepage again. Tacenda looks at your business from end to end. So every single department that influences revenue generation, we will count into our calculations. And that includes everything from customer onboarding to the people pipeline. For instance, the people pipeline, depending on how many staff you have, can seriously impact revenue generation over the year. But although it is looked at, it's looked at as rather a hindsight, again, or something of interest, rather than something that you should manage. Tacenda tries to remove that blind spot from your business. So back to the platform again. Most systems out there will look at departments in a siloed fashion, and the problem with doing that is that things can go wrong in between retention and onboarding. Things can go wrong between marketing and sales, and you end up with departments throwing stones at each other and never really getting to the bottom of the issue. Tacenda looks at the business holistically as a series of running conveyor belts. So you can pick out, let's say, activity rates from a marketing point of view. So they will be looking at the different source of leads as they come in, and then how they pass through the business, what people are dealing with each one of these campaigns and what their success rates are. You can go back and look at the same information that is more people focused and how the individuals are performing. Now it will give you also a breakdown of source, etc. But as you can see, the view is absolutely interconnected. So at no point is any particular department left out on their own or isolated from performance. The estimated impact of this view on the world and addressing your business in this fashion is roughly a 20% uplift in revenue. We hope to be able to prove that to you through our deployments. Back to the anchor page, and the last main USP of the platform is about moving from observations to actionable insights. As we referenced before above, most systems out there, including Excel, are essentially a passive reporting environment. Things can be going wrong, and unless you are on top of all of your reporting and watching it from every angle every day, you will not know that these things are going wrong until you're specifically looking for them. The system wants to remove this problem identification element from the business and allow you to be focusing on actionable insights all of the time. And how do we take that workload from you? Well, one of the examples within the system is a thing called normalization. You'll see the normalization toggle up here in the top right. What that does is it purifies what you're looking at. So for instance, on the graph on the left there, you'll see the amount of calls that are being made by each staff member. The normal way of looking at this information is usually quite misleading because these reps can be in different geographies, they have different calendars that they work to. They may also be on holiday or off sick, etc., etc. So it's very, very difficult to tell who's actually performing from a workday perspective the best. So we've automatically um, built the system to sift through all that information and give you a true view of what's actually happening within the business. So once data is normalized, um, it accounts for all of those different things which cause the performance to look different by staff member, by a campaign, etc., so that you can go in and see very quickly who's good, who's not, who's getting better, who's not, what campaign source is performing, what isn't, etc. This is literally thousands of man hours of analytics. That was a very, very fast tour of the system, but just to get some of the main ideas across of what we're trying to achieve. Um, the final message here is a very important one, but a very simple one. We are making no claims about understanding your business better than you do. Almost every business I've ever worked in has a high level of uniqueness, although there are standardized methodologies, etc., and KPIs that you use to monitor the business. There's an awful lot of localization. We don't pretend to know your business better than you. What Tacenda does is it gives you real-time visibility into the main levers and causes of problems that are influencing your performance and allows you to address them instantaneously rather than after the fact. On the top graph, you can see there just a drop in revenue that could be caused by any problem. On the bottom graph, you can see the same drop in revenue that's addressed faster. And the squiggly line is simply the amount of revenue you save. This is the basic idea behind Tacenda and how it works. We have a number of deployments of it now, and we are showing significant uplifts in performance across all of those deployments. And we would like to have you on board. Thank you.